Hello, spiritual seekers. This is Persephone with your Oracle forecast for September 2016. Now, let's get started. So the first card is from the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed, and that card is Sisters of the Seasons, which deals with divine order, natural law, and cycles of growth. So if you see in the picture, there's 4 women, each representing the 4 seasons of the year. So if you're living in the Northern Hemisphere, right now we're transitioning out of the summer and going into autumn. For a lot of people, that means hitting the books, put away that bikini, you're heading back to school. So some people are like, oh, playtime's over, but you're moving up to a higher level, baby. That's great. So think about when you move, when you're in high school, you're going from pre-algebra to algebra to geometry, trigonometry, and then calculus. And took a lot of work and a lot of studying to get up to that level, of intellect and attaining knowledge. And that also applies to your spiritual life, to your relationships, to your projects. So you're starting a new season, taking on new things, new goals, new projects. And it's a great cycle to be in right now. So, ponder that message as we go on to the second card from the Rider-Waite tarot deck, and that card is the Tower. So I randomly shuffled the card because there's no way I picked this for you, myself or for you deliberately, because I say yikes whenever I get that card. So if you see lightning struck the castle and the poor souls jump out of the building fleeing for their lives, yeah, it's kind of a scary card, whether you do it on the positive or the negative interpretation. So change is scary sometimes, and sometimes change is abrupt, especially if you have been stuck in a situation for a long time and you're thinking, oh, how am I going to get out of this? I've been stuck in this lousy job for so many years, but I need to pay the bills. And then, boom, the company downsizes you. You get laid off. You're stuck in a bad relationship. Boom, your spouse goes out for a pack of cigarettes and never comes back. So I know I don't mean to laugh about that, but sometimes change is like that. It's just, things change, on a dime right there. And fortunes change on a dime, and you gotta ride the waves and roll with the punches. And sometimes when you're stuck in a situation and you don't want to move, the universe will give you a shove after a certain point. So, and when you talk about cycles of growth, sometimes there are growing pains. There's seasons of harvest, seasons where the soil is fallow, and seasons of growth. So next card up is from Doreen Virtue's Healing with the Angels deck, and your card is Spiritual Growth. So speaking of growing pains, but sometimes it's it's not all that bad, especially growing spiritually. Your connection to the divine is getting stronger, and sometimes, especially when we're going through a crisis, we need that connection to the divine for God to tell us what's going on, losing my way. But in this instance, the angels floating in the night sky, stars are surrounding you. And what's especially interesting is the light peeking through in between her wings. That makes me think that, perhaps you're going through a dark night of the soul, and you need that connection to God, especially, if it's for your own good. The old is falling away. You're moving out of your comfort zone, like it or not. Your identity, could be falling away, especially if your identity is tied with, relationship or a job, or even your looks. I was just reading about this firefighter who lost his whole face in a fire accident and then had a whole face transplant. Think about how that would change your identity. So in this card, so you see the light peeking through. She's surrounded by darkness, but there's a little peak of light peeking through. So perhaps you're going through your own dark night of the soul, but as they say, it's darkest before the dawn. So think about, you're going through a dark tunnel, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. And so finally, I picked a crystal randomly out of my extensive crystal collection to think about what do you need to meditate on. So I kind of gave you interesting message there. We're talking about, maybe you're going through a crisis right now, or one is coming up, especially because we're hitting eclipse season. That always means, endings and new beginnings too. And we're talking about spiritual growth, could either do it the easy way or the hard way. Sometimes, we grow through crises, and sisters of the seasons. So what season are you in? Are you in a season of new opportunities, things falling back, a season of things falling away? And so our crystal of the month is Labradorite, which is found mostly in Labrador, Canada. And the legend behind Labradorite is the Inuit people say that the Eskimo, struck a rock and light came out. Other story is that the Aurora Borealis, fell down, and Labrador came from that. It's also a protective stone. So as you're going through rocky transitional period, use it to ground yourself. Protect your heart. A little heart-shaped stone I have there. You can wear it by your solar plexus as you're meditating. And it's also a stone of magic and transformation. So you are going through a magical time and a transformational time. So it might be rocky right now, but in hindsight, you're going to cherish this moment, because you are not going to be the same person like 2 months from now, 3 months from now. And that's a good thing. Change is good, my friends. So that's your message for the month. And I hope you have a good one. Let me know, how your reading is, whether this message resonates with you. So, and if you want a personal reading, so email me at the link below. Have a great month. Goodbye.